Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to Road to Glory Career Mode. This is episode 58, is it? I don't know. But I thought we'd have a little chat today about what to come and things of that nature, because in case you missed it, as you can see right here on the right, Grimsby Town emerges Champions League winners. Not only did we emerge as Champions League winners, we demolished Barcelona in the process, winning 9-1 in the final. It was unreal, to say the least. We tore them to shreds, and so much so that people were questioning it. It was definitely ultimate. There was no sliders that had been played around. We just battered them, and I don't know what it was, right? But after that, I was kind of sat there thinking, what do we do next, you know? Because we've now arguably won the Champions League in the highest scoreline we're ever going to win it. We've won back-to-back Premier League titles with Grimsby Town, and we've kind of peaked at this point. So I took a look at the comments during the premiere, and I took a look at the comments, of course, from the last episode, and it seems like the general consensus is that people want us to, like, kind of move on and do something else. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to round up the series today, and we will save it, and then what I might do between now and the end of FIFA 19 is come back to it, because what I want to try and do is sim a few seasons into the future and see how these players that we currently have actually do if I'm not at the helm of the club. So I might leave, go somewhere else and sim it and then see. But that's to be for a different episode. So I think today, guys, is where we're going to bring the Road to Glory Career Mode to an end. So I'm going to sign it off, obviously, by going through the roundup and then showing you the best goals, even though I don't want to show too many because I know at the start of this it was all about the finesse shot. So I'm going to try and, I think, pick 5 of my favourites to show you guys at this point. Maybe even pick a player of the series. Not quite decided on that yet. But I guess we'll sign it off from here on out, and then we'll talk a bit about what maybe is to come. So, without further ado, let's jump into our stats then. My career. So here we go. How many seasons have we now played of this series? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 seasons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. Well then. Unbelievable. Right, let's start at the beginning then with 2018-2019, Season 1. Which we started off in League 2, as you guys know, way back, and it went really well for us, didn't it? We ended up going through as winners of the League 2. We ended up achieving our promotion. We ended up with the highest signing of the fee of Kubo, 490,000, a man that is still with us today, my friends, and he might be worth a heck of a lot more than 490,000. Now, Hooper for 230 left the club. We played 55 games in Season 1. Winning 31 of those, losing 13. So, that's pretty good, I'd say, for League 2 football. You know what I mean? I was quite happy with that season, especially picking up Kubo. That was obviously the highlight of that, and then getting promotion out of League 2 into League 1. I suppose the early game of Road to Glories are not really something that you have a lot going on, apart from the second season, where we went on one of the craziest cup runs that we have done. The Carabao Cup, we went all the way to the the FA Cup, I should say. We went all the way to the semi-finals of the FA Cup. Carabao Cup went out in round 1. We won League 1 and finished in the round 1 of the Checker Trade Trophy. But semi-finals of the FA Cup. I'm trying to remember who beat us in that. Oh, who was it? I know did we play Everton in it? But who actually beat us in the semi-finals? I can't remember off the top of my head. Maybe you guys know. Our biggest signing of this window, though, was 2.75 million for Tim Weyer. And our record transfer fee received at this point ended up going up a little bit to Rose for 460,000. Again, a lot of games played, 59. Significantly more goals scored, though, 114. With only 10 defeats this time, 36 wins under our belt. But the highlight had to be obviously winning League 1, but also going to the semi-finals of the FA Cup. That was just unbelievable. I'm still trying to work out who it was who defeated us. I might take a look back at that in a few minutes and have a look. But moving on into Season 3 then, where we were in the Championship. And the objective was finish mid-table. Our league objective, we smashed it. It says league, but I believe, did we finish second? We did. We finished in second of the Championship. So we gained automatic promotion. It wasn't as winners. I think there was a 3-horse race between us and a couple of other teams. Again, I'm struggling to work out who those were, though. But I remember we went for a period where we played unbelievable football, didn't we? And we just took over. Don't know what it was. But, yeah. So, we finished in second in Season 3. Back-to-back promotions all the way up to the Premier League. And got ourselves into the promised land that is the Premier League. Our highest record for this season was actually Darfaloo for 1.4 million, who is still here as well today. So when you consider the only players so far out of our 3 transfer fees paid in records, Kubo, Weah, and Darfalu, Weah's the only one to have left, and they are all relatively cheap fees. Record transfer fee received, Harris, 850,000. Again, over 50 games played. Similar amount of games won, similar amount of games lost. Again, another very, very good season. But here is where things hotted up. As we went into the Premier League for the first time. Grimsby Town in the Promised Land. Back-to-back-to-back promotions. Winning League 2, winning League 1, coming second in the Championship to winning the Premier League on our first season. Yep. Winning the Premier League in our first season. Record transfer fee significantly improved to £16 million, which we paid for Marcelo. We also brought in Sergio Ramos in this particular season as well. Both of them, again, still at the club now. Aite left, £3.8 million, our record transfer fee received so far. League position first, 47 games, 31 won, 9 defeats, 7 draws. So win the league in our first season. Inconceivable, it felt like. But that is how we found it. Which brought us into, I believe, this season now. So we had League 2, Season 1. League 1, Season 2. Championship, Season 3. Wait, have we only had 5 seasons of this series? Yeah, 5. I mean, that's just stupid, isn't it? We won a trophy in every single season. We came into this season off the back of that Premier League win. Sold Weah for 45 million. Kieran Tierney for 42 came in. First place in the Premier League again. Not only that, but winning the Champions League, winning the Community Shield, winning the Carabao Cup, and winning the Premier League. Everything went rosy. The only thing we haven't won in our time here at the club is FA Cup. That is it. So if I do return to it, that's got to be one thing that we try and possibly win in the future. In terms of this one, though, that was our last season, and it was an unbelievable season. I feel like, and I'm not going to say that it's down to anything in particular, but I feel like this year's Road to Glory career mode was maybe slightly easier than the last year's. Potentially because of the fact that I didn't start it later, but I got used to the gameplay a lot quicker than maybe past ones. And, you know, when I came into it, we were smashing teams for fun. I also had a bit of a trouble when it came to Ultimate Difficulty earlier on. So we actually played on Legendary. Maybe if I hadn't played Legendary, things would have turned out differently. But at the same time as well, I think there's no denying it. This year for career mode was quite difficult in terms of YouTubers enjoying the game. And I think that's down to the fact that there wasn't drastic changes to the game, so it felt very much like we were playing the same game that we already have, you know? So maybe that's why it took us 5 seasons. Maybe that's why we haven't got as much done, if you will, before we've been able to dominate in terms of the world of football. But very much so, I did enjoy it. I had a blast, and the players we've got through here, I hope, are going to go on to big, big things in the future. Specifically when we come back and have a look at it in a future episode at somewhat down the line, where we do like a Where Are They Now section and have a look at how our players are performing. Maybe I'll do it on a live stream if I get around to doing that. I actually want to see where Florentine Barbet ends up and what overall he gets to. Ferrari, McNamee, and Sukasev. They are the 4 that I'm really excited to see because they're obviously not already in the game when we start. They're all coming through and they're game-generated players. Kubo would be quite cool to see as well, but I think those 4 are the main ones I wanted to see where they kind of go. But that was our final season then. That was the season that you guys have just seen in terms of the Champions League we just played and obviously the Premier League before that, which brings us to our overall. 1 club, 4 league titles, only not winning it in 1 season, which was the Championship. Domestic Cups 1, Carabao Cup of course, Continental Cups, Champions League 1. Biggest win overall in the series was the Barcelona Champions League final, where we won by 9 goals to 1. Our biggest defeat was in a pre-season tour against Willem 2, where we lost 3-0. Record transfer fee, £42 million. And our overall record of 281 wins, 281 played, 179 wins, 52 draws, 50 defeats. So, we didn't play as many games as previous Road to Glory series, but it was still a very successful series and one that I will treasure again on the channel. I love looking back at past series, like my Hartlepool 1 crew from last year, and just looking at it and then like kind of reminiscing about how good they were to play in, and at the time as well when my channel was growing and such. So yeah, it's been cool. I mean, I'm not going to deny that we could take this team forward and probably make it even better. but we peaked. If we're beating Barcelona 9-1 in a Champions League final on ultimate difficulty, we've peaked, you know? And that is just unbelievable to me. So we'll take a quick look at the squad then and see who is who and how they've done and what they've got up to. McNamee is our number one, 86 rated at this point. He has been with us since the very, very start. He's worth £35 million, still only 20 years of age. I believe he would be... Would he make it as Ireland's most capped player? That's the question. You know, he's still very young and he's got the potential to get there. Would he do it? That is the question. Malcolm Watson never really played. He was just back up to McNamee. I think he played a couple of times this season, but they were only when we needed him to through injury or what have you. So, yeah, not too bad. A Scottish goalkeeper. I don't think he's quite good enough to make it as their record appearance maker. Max Jackson. This is a weird one, okay? Because when he came into the team, I thought he was going to be one of the best players we were going to have. He was tipped to join Bayern at one stage. He had offers from Bayern. We would turn them down, saying he was never going to leave us. And then he just kind of fizzled out and the big man came on the scene. I don't know why, but he just never really hit the heights, did he? And he's been loaned out to Villarreal. And as I said, as we are coming to a close, it means he won't play for us. But he was great in the earlier game, not so much in the later. The big man, though, our club captain, Chris Sukasev. What a machine this guy is. 6'4". One of the better players we've had. One of my more favourite players as well this year in the game. It's really cool when you find a player like this that you can sit there and go, I'll remember him. Whenever there's a new FIFA, very much like Riera Canadell and Ollie Hill from FIFA 17 on my Hartlepool save. Very much like Anwar El Ghazi from my Hartlepool and Leeds save on FIFA 17. Moving into FIFA 18 where we had the crew save and I had the players like Fratchak. I had Mbappe for a time there as well, but Mbappe was just one of those ones that you could look at. We had Evans. We had who was this? Who was the Spanish cam? The Spanish cam. I can't remember his name. Yeah. Anyway, those type of players that you can look back when you're in a new FIFA and say, I remember those. They played a massive part. Esri Konsa. How could I forget about him from Crew? Man, what a player. This guy's going to do it. When I come back to FIFA 20 for next year and I start a new series, I'm going to be thinking back to the players that I've had over the past. Chris Sukasev is going to make that list 100%. What a machine this guy was. And definitely going to be a captain of the club for a very long time for me. Moving on, though, we got Luna, a scout future star. Less said about him, the better. 5'6" at centre-back. Was never really going to get into the team, was he? You needed height this year, and he just didn't have it, unfortunately. Kyle Bartley, though, 32. Average, bang average. Made so many mistakes when he came to us. I signed him at the end of the championship, thinking we were going to be in the championship. We ended up getting promotion. It was probably a poor move on my part, but hey-ho. Reece Oxford was a loan deal, I believe, was it? Yeah, loan deal. So, he was all right. Squad player, just did the job when we needed to. Mehdi Darfalu, though. The guy that we picked up for 1 point odd mil. Again, one of the players that we looked like we might actually lose at some stage for free. We last grasp managed to negotiate a contract with him for £54,135 a week. He's actually not worth as much as I thought he would be, but 82 rated for a time was easily the best defensive centre-back in the league without a shadow of a doubt for a time. I think he phased off towards the back end of the season, but for a time in the first half of the season, he was the best centre-back in the league. So, yeah, quality player. We have Felipe Rodriguez Lima, grown by 7 overalls after signing this season on a free contract. We picked him up from the free agents. Potential to be special. Special indeed is what I think he will get to. Same for Logan Doyle. Another one from the free agents. He also has exciting prospects. So both of them, if we were to continue, I'm sure would hit their peaks in terms of centre-backs and probably would be the best in the world. Ramos, what a servant from Real Madrid. Now, I'm not going to lie. I'm not a big fan of Ramos in real life. But in the save, he was one of the reasons why we won the Premier League in our first season. The experience, the quality that he had, he brought it to the team, and he certainly played his part. Brought him back this year. I mean, he featured, was it 38 times for us? 29 appearances, even at the age of 37, in the Premier League and winning it. Shows you the quality he's got, man. What a player. What a career as well. Let's just add that in there. Continuing on, though, these two never really played. Kieran Tierney, unbelievable left back. Definitely recommend if you haven't tried him out already in this one. He's also a pretty beast on FM, I'm told, Football Manager. So, yeah, one of the best left backs in the game. Nothing really needs to be said about him. Marcelo, another one, came in with Ramos. Another one with bags of experience and quality. Reason why we won this the league in our first season. Didn't play as much in the second year, but still a vital part of our team. Josh Tymon came right in, didn't he, at the start? I said he was going to be great right up until the Championship. That was the case, but we knew when we came into the Premier League, we needed to bring in somebody else to fit the bill. Marcelo was that man. Obviously, then Tierney after that, and they did it. Now, moving on to, I think, the unsung hero of the series, Shane Peterson. Look at him. 35 appearances in the Premier League, 7.5 match rating, 18 clean sheets to his name. Exciting prospect. Can play centre-back CDM. Worth £21 million. Again, another one of the players that I look at and think he's going to make it as one of Scotland's all-time greats. Like McNamee for Ireland, I think Peterson could be one of Scotland's all-time greats. He's just an unbelievable player. We relied on him, and when we needed him to, he was a boss. Bossed it in the Champions League, bossed it in the Premier League. Arguably one of the best midfielders in the Premier League at the moment as well, in terms of defensive stature. He's quality. Unbelievable. And I think in terms of central midfielders, I'm not sure there will be a better one that comes into one of my FIFA 19 saves than this guy. Patrick might do it in De Graafschap. Cheeky little plug if you haven't already seen it. Go check that out. But I think Peterson is up there. Moving on, we've got more fringe players. Guendouzi was pretty good as well. He came back on loan again for us. There's a couple more players I want to mention. Ferrari, of course, this season signed. Our record signing. Oh, no, not our record signing. Our second record signing. Very, very good. Quality all across the board. We moved into a CDM role and he started to shine there after we thought he'd be good at cam. But, yeah, much better in that CDM role. Very happy with him. Again, another player that I think would be just unbelievable. Carlos Alenia, a solid option from the bench to start games for us as well. Very happy with his contribution to the team. But as we move down, ladies and gentlemen, has to be said, Corentin Barbet. Just take a look at that Champions League final of last episode to understand why he is arguably the best in the world right now. That volley in the Champions League final will go down in history as one of the... Well, I won't say in history. But for me, in the series, it's one of our best goals. If that doesn't make it into the goal of the series vote to come, I'll be surprised with myself because that was an unbelievable volley. At a time as well in the Champions League final. You know, that's a stage that not many players get to, and he did that in it. Ethan Cox, really good. The earlier game, not so good in the late game, but still a decent servant. Ethan Shaw, similar to that as well. Great early game, average late. Went on loan to Leicester, largely did nothing. Takefusa Kubo needs no introduction. We know about the little man. Again, another player that I'll look back fondly on from the series. And he's just, man, for the 450, or was it something like that we paid for him, 450k? He's now worth 17 mil, and I would even sell him for 100 mil. He is so damn good. So good. But, yeah, the little man, what a beast. McNeil, oh man, hit double figures every single season for us in all competitions that we played of this series. Better than the 81 overall that it shows there, I think, in terms of that one. Again, another player. I don't think he's quite going to go down as a legend of the series, but he's an icon. You've got to say he did have his moments. I think the only real legends of the save has got to go down is maybe Peterson, Sukasev, and possibly Kubo. They're the three that would go down as legends, I would say, at Grimsby Town. But it is what it is. Solanke came in this season after Weah left. Got 10 goals in the Premier League, guys. Great campaign for him. Janssen, Eggestein, I'm disappointed got injured because he was having a great season again. And I think that's pretty much going to do it, guys, for all of the players then. It is going to do it. So that is our full list of players. A lot of them are going to be really, really, really good in the future. Some of them maybe not so good, but I will look back on this very fondly. That's done it for the players then. Let's have a look at the favourite moments in terms of goals of the series of mine. Leave yours down below, and I'll come back to sign it off. Kubo towards Weah. Weah towards Van Bergen. Come on, boys. Get a second. Van Bergen. We need to not be wasteful with the ball. We need to make sure we're still using it effectively. Van Bergen! Van Bergen! It is so good from Mitchell Van Bergen. 2-0 Grimsby. We're going to do it. We're going to be in the Premier League next season. Get in. Well, I'm saying that. What I mean is, playing like we are, we're going to be in the Premier League next season. Oh my, this episode has been brilliant. What an episode. What an episode. I've thoroughly enjoyed this. It's been the first time in a long time where I've thoroughly enjoyed playing with this Grimsby Town side, because we were struggling previously, guys. And I got to admit, it got me a little bit down, because I was like, I can't seem to find the rhythm. But I tell you what, today's been something else, man. I am loving this team. this stage, Forest Green they can't get the ball under control in the advanced area, because as soon as they do, the likes of Chris Sukasev and other people... Oh, what a goal! Oh my gosh! What a goal! That is commentator's curse written in a script. I was just literally saying they can't get the ball under control. And then the next thing I know, they've just hit a worldie. Their number 9 is... Oh, wow, what a goal. And if they don't go on to win the game, they can safely say they'll have the best goal of the game, because that is tremendous. What an effort. Holy. Just before half-time as well. Take a bow. Into the second half then, as they get a corner, and what you're about to see can only be described as my favourite goal of the series so far. Dominic Solanke channels his inner Lionel Messi as he goes on one crazy run to find the bottom corner to double his advantage. It was well worthy of me showing you this again, so much so I had to take it back to the instant replay to show you actually what happened, because when you look at it from this angle, I'm sure you probably noticed a little flick over the head, but when we take a look at it in the instant replay, everything about this is actually meant. Here is the first bit. He flicks it over the oncoming defender's head, knows where the ball is. What is this defender coming towards him going to do? Absolutely nothing, because he megs him, goes round the side, and just drives towards goal before finishing it. And I'm not going to lie, when I was playing this, I was saying to myself, please don't miss now. Just don't miss, because this is going to be quite possibly one of the goals of the series. If I 11 out there that started the game for us as Chris Sukasev back towards Peterson, gives it away, but Peterson makes it his. Barbe, Solanke on the turn. Solanke! Liverpool 0, Grimsby 1, and it's Dominic Solanke on his return to Anfield. What a strike as well from the number 9 as he celebrates too. I'm sure there'll be a few fans in the stadium that will not be happy about that. But Dominic Solanke has pulled one right out of nowhere. Barbe's simple pass on the spin through the legs of Van Dijk. It's a driven shot and we timed it to perfection as well. Oh, it's so unfortunate for Alisson. When it goes through the legs of a defender though, he's possibly thinking about maybe a deflection on the way through. It doesn't get it, and he's just gone straight into that bottom corner, and Solanke's return to Anfield is a brilliant one. Bit of a longer one today, obviously, with the sign-off and that, but like I said earlier, we probably will revisit this to have a look at how the players actually get on if we sim into the future, because I am really intrigued. And I know we only played 5 seasons of this, guys, but I do plan on bringing out some other stuff in the near future. So, to talk about what's coming then, we've got Player Career Story starting this Saturday, so depending on when this goes out, that might already be out, so we've got that starting. We've got Player Career Mode still going. We've got DJWood, which we've got into, and I'm really enjoying that save as well. So if you haven't already checked it out, definitely do. And I think once Player Career Mode comes to an end, I might start like another Career Mode off. But I also want to try and do like full Career Modes where there's like a longer, just one episode where we go through and try and win stuff with a team. But I'm not entirely sure. If you've got anything that you actually want to see, then let me know in the comment down below. I could also do that. But for the most part, I'm going to be kind of just focusing on Player Career Story, DJWood, and then, of course, bringing Player Career Mode to an end, and then maybe starting another Career Mode at some stage in the near future. So, if you have enjoyed today's episode and you enjoyed the series, a like would be greatly appreciated. I am planning on coming back with a live stream at some stage on this save. So, if you do want to see that, make sure you hit a thumbs up, and I'll see you all again very, very soon with another video. If you are new around here, like what you see, hit that subscribe button down below. Catch you all again soon. Adios.